I like to control time instead of have time control me. And I find that when I say we're going to start at 7, but we really start at 7:05 or 7:07, that my demonstrations come in late, so I am not interested in that at all. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the art of shifting consciousness and changing your life. And we always begin everything at the Center for Spiritual Living with a spiritual mind treatment, and we have been practicing this. So I would like 5 people to come up front, and the sooner you come up, the sooner you get to pick your step. We have recognition. What is a recognition statement?
God is all there is.
God is all there is. What is an identification statement? And so am I. What is an affirmation statement? That'll do. What is a gratitude statement? Thank you. What is a release statement? So it is. So it's simple. So that was for all of you who immediately went into anxiety when I said I want 5 people to come up. 5 people, come on up, pick your step. Number 5. There you go.
We'll try this again. 4.
Okay, I'm new. I can't be blind for anything.
Which step do you want?
Gratitude.
That's 4. That's Chris.
That's fine.
Oh, no.
Yes, let her give in quickly. There you go. Jane, are you coming up?
I'm trying.
Which step do you want?
What do you got?
1 and 2.
Oh, okay, I think I'll take
1. Come on up. Who's number 2? This is about your empowerment. That what God is, you are. Lindy, right? Yay. Okay, so Kristen's going to write on the other board. What do you want this opening treatment, this spiritual mind treatment, this setting of intention, what do you want as a class tonight? 3 things.
Clarity.
Clarity.
Freedom.
Freedom. What else?
Confidence.
Confidence. Confidence. We just hold abundance generally in the air. Clarity, freedom, and confidence.
Clarity, freedom, and abundance.
So, Jane, you're going to start us off with some idea that whatever spirit is, whatever that creative energy is, it is everything, and it is clarity, freedom, and confidence with abundance hanging out in the air. And then, Lindy, you're going to move to, remember we go big, 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 and then we go in us. You're going to move to somehow that is what you are. That clarity, freedom, and confidence, that everything that Jane just said is what you are, and that oneness, that spiritual energy, that creative force is what you are now. And then, Kristen, you're going to go for it with the class. You're going to claim it. It's going to be personal for the class. You're going to know it for the class. It's going to be positive. There's not going to be any no's. It's going to be in the present tense, right now. It's going to be precise. You're not going to ramble on for half an hour. And it's going to be positive. Because you're going to give it a lot of power. You're going to claim it and know it for each and every one of us, okay? And then, Elizabeth, you're going to be grateful for all the clarity, freedom, and confidence that we have experienced in this treatment. And Elaine, you're going to let it go. You got it? Everybody's good? Yay. Everybody take a deep breath and then do whatever you want.
Okay, there is one presence. There's one presence. It's infinite, it's eternal, there's no beginning, no end. It's omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. It's just filled with clarity. And it is, and it's filled with clarity and freedom and confidence. And it's the universe, and it's eternal. Go ahead.
And so if there is only one presence that encompasses everything, then I must be that one presence. And so I must be the clarity, the freedom, and the confidence that that one presence is.
And so I claim now for everyone here in this classroom tonight, clarity in all of our decisions, all of our everyday lives, the clarity to know what to do and how to move forward. And we do that with freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of our lives. We move through our lives feeling free and open and accepting of all that the universe is giving us. And I know that we are confident in every step that we take. And we do all of this abundantly.
And with absolute gratitude, we know that we are supported in being clear, being free, that we are clear, that we are supported, that we are confident, and abundant in all good and positive ways. And for this, we are constantly, absolutely, always grateful for everything from each breath to the bigger stuff.
We release these words into the law, knowing that it is already done, as we say together.
And so it is.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I know this sounds a little silly, but if you get hot, let me know. Hi, Julia. So, spiritual mind treatment. I know there are some people in the room that are new, but we've been working on this. This is our 5-step process of affirmative prayer. It simply gives us a structure to focus our intention. And I highly recommend that you practice this. I know that there's a book that John Waterhouse wrote, and it's right on the back shelf called 5 Steps to Freedom. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 steps. It's all about treatment. And if you want to get that and give yourself a little crash course, you can do that. Those of you who are aware of the process of treatment, again, I really want you to be treating. That is what we do. I recommend that you start every morning with spiritual practice, that you do a little meditation, can be done over coffee. God is in the coffee, it's okay. And do a little meditation, a little spiritual practice, whatever that means to you, and include in there somewhere a 5-step spiritual mind treatment for yourself and for someone else if you're doing treatment work for them. I passed out a flyer last week that was all about the steps of treatment, gave you examples of the steps of treatment, and also included how to treat for someone else. If you're treating for someone else, you always treat yourself. There's only one mind. You and I are connected, but what I know for you, I know in me. So I know it inside of myself. So these steps are always I know, I am, and then I treat for you. And I know that Breezy is, I know that Wilma is, has, does, whatever it is I'm knowing for her, and then I'm grateful and I release it. So if you're going to do it for someone else, the only place you do that for them is in the 3rd step. Otherwise, it's all about you. One of the things that is so obvious to me is when a student actually begins to implement the teachings in their life. Instead of thinking about them and talking about them and coming to class and listening to ideas about them, they actually start doing them. It was like Kristen's sharing on Sunday that after 10 years and 9 months, she finally started implementing the practice of tithing. And she'd done everything but the tithing piece. And her life was getting better except for her money. And that is because she gave into fear all those years. And that when she finally did that, everything just opened up for her and blessings for all of her areas of her life have come forward. So do the treatment work, whatever it is. You're going to buy a new car tomorrow. Go treat before you go into the Toyota dealership. Whatever it is you're doing that day, bring it into treatment, set the tone, set your intention, and watch how life shows up in a supportive way so that your day goes well. All the way from finding a parking space to having money work out, to having people be nice to you, to whatever it is, you know. Have that set up in mind so that you create your day and then you walk into it. Otherwise, your day just happens and you react to it all day. Oh my God, this happened and that out of the blue. That's because you didn't create your day. So what we want to do is we want to take the time, usually in the morning, to create our day. And this is just a lovely tool to help you focus. Is it the only way to create your day? Of course not. But it's a very handy tool to help you focus. The first 2 steps get you in touch, they get you in tune. Something, remember last week we went for the wow. That the first step of treatment is, it has got to take you to a wow. It's just amazing what this vibration of creation and love and light and what all of this is that includes the physical but is so far beyond the physical realm. It's got to go to wow. That's the first step of treatment. And then you bring that wow into yourself, and I know that that is more healing and positive and uplifting than any amount of therapy you will ever do. Having done decades of therapy. The second step of treatment will get in there in those dark corners where you think there's something wrong or bad about you. Something where you still have something to hide that you don't want anyone to know. And let me just tell you that there's only one mind. There's only one of us. Everybody already knows whatever it is you're hiding. At some level, everybody already knows, so it just doesn't matter because everybody loves you anyway because love is always. No matter what their physical personality reaction to, there is only love. So that second step of treatment, if you go to wow, or you go, I don't understand it, I may never be able to wrap my head around it, but somehow that is me. The rainbow is me, the sunrise is me, the wind is me, the stars are me, somehow that is me. And what happens is all of those things that happened on a day-to-day level, personality level, the things that we think we need to hide, they're just gone. They just get kind of washed out of us. So we want to go to that second step, and then we want to direct the law. That's one thing that I like about this, and I like it better than all of the Eastern philosophies of becoming mindless. That doesn't mean stupid. Becoming mindless and letting go of all thought and just being in the ever-present now, that's lovely, but that doesn't direct the law. And when I want something to happen, I want it to happen. I want something to happen. They were calling for snow Saturday night, and I don't usually play with nature because I believe in that old commercial that says you shouldn't mess with Mother Nature. But we had snow on Friday night. I wasn't going to have snow on Saturday night. Not a flake. Not a flake. Because what I knew was that the roads were clear, the skies were clear, that everybody was able to get out of their driveways and come to the center, and that we were going to have a great time. Now, I may have backed it up because they're calling for snow again this weekend. But when I want something to happen, I don't say, well, Barbara, do you have a right to make that happen? Do you have a right to have that? Are you good enough to have that? Should you have that? Of course. The answer to all of those is yes. Yes, I have a right to it. Yes, I deserve to have it. And yes, I should have it. So whatever it is, direct your day. If you just want your day to go along in peace and harmony, great. Before you go to work, how many people work with other people? Before you go to work, fill up that workspace with light and love and clarity and you. And then like creating your day and you walk into it, you put your energy into your workplace and then you walk into it. You don't walk into somebody else's problem. If you walk into work and somebody goes, oh, I had such a terrible morning, that's because you haven't claimed the energy. You walked into their drama, and that's contagious. So you don't want to do that. You want to set your intention, you want to put your energy as to how you want your life to be, and then you want to walk into that and watch it happen. So I encourage you to do that every day, to move into a state of gratitude, and then to let it go. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Some of the best demonstrations have been had simply by thinking about it and then just letting it go. Just let it go. When we don't let it go, I think I talked about this last week, when we don't let it go, it's because we are in our fear that it's not gonna happen, and we try to control the way that it's going to happen. So we worry about it, we think about it, is it working? Because I have this plan of how I think it could work out, and even though the creator of the universe has done all of this, certainly it can't manage my problem and the solution, so I'll have to plot it out and then make sure it happens that way. That lack of letting go is all about fear, it's all about control, and control is all about fear. So practice just letting it go. Just trust that everything's gonna work out. Patty.
So you're saying it's okay if I forget what I treated for?
Absolutely, let it go, forget it.
Well, I forget it if I don't write it down, so.
You've done the treatment.
Right.
Yeah, let it go. You don't need to remember it.
Okay.
Ernest says in the textbook, he says to treat until you can hold the demonstration in your hand, which means it's not airy-fairy. We're not making this up, you know, it really does come back that the x-ray shows this, the biopsy shows that, the money is here, that kind of thing. But he also says all you need is one treatment. One absolute, perfect knowing. That's all you need. So you do that, you turn it over and let it go, you're good. And the proof, you know, is in that it shows up, is in the demonstration. And what I'm looking to do is to have this center be filled with people whose lives are manifesting what they want. Instead of having a center of people who can vocalize the teachings very articulately, who've read a lot of books and gone to a lot of classes, but your lives still aren't manifesting the way you want them to. I want you to manifest. Ernest said in one of the books, he said, I would rather have a student manifest these teachings than to be able to articulate all of it. You know, I'm paraphrasing. So that's my focus, is that I want us to be able to manifest. And what I tell my practitioner classes, I expect you to manifest at will, on demand. When I went into practitioner 1 30 some odd years ago, the very first class was go home and demonstrate unexpected income. And do it before next week's class, or don't come back because you have no business being in this class. Yeah. Doesn't matter how much. Doesn't matter how much. You know, and at that time in my life, I was still playing games with being very poor and not staying in one place very long, but I had managed to stay in this one apartment a year, and that week I got back my electric deposit in the mail. So I was good, you know, but in that moment I was terrified because I knew where all my money was coming from, and it certainly wasn't very much, and unexpected, you know, well, where in the world is that gonna come from? Well, that's why it's unexpected. So the reason that I want you to really do this treatment work is because you'll develop a sense of faith and trust in the power of your word, and you'll be able to manifest what you need when you need it, and keep the idea of fear away from you. Because when we think that there is something that we need for our safety and well-being, and we don't have it and we can't get it, that's when the boogeymen come up and they take over our consciousness, and instead of being creative, we become very reactive. And then things just manifest that way. So practice your treatment, practice your spiritual practice, whatever that is. You know, some people do Tai Chi, it's their spiritual practice, great. I want you to do treatment also. I like meditation, I actually love chanting. I think chanting is just great. But whatever it is, put your treatment work in, go ahead and manifest things in your life that you can then say, I did this. I've been walking into that office every day for 10 years, and it's just been put your guard up because all of everybody's negativity is about to get me. And instead, even if you have to sit out in the parking lot, visualize your office space, put some white light in there, some love, some peace, some joy. Know that everything works out in harmony and balance, and then go in. And even if you're late, it's okay. Take some time to set the stage for your life before you walk into it. And what people often find is that certain people in their jobs either miraculously transform into these wonderful people, or somehow they leave. Either way is good. because the energy around you is what you want it to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great. How many people were not here last week? Well, welcome back home. Thank you. So where we are in this process of the art of shifting consciousness is we've moved into the idea of not complaining. How many people were not here yesterday? Okay. I talked about this a little bit yesterday at the celebration, and what we've done is we've moved into this idea of not complaining because when we complain, we create that which we are complaining about. Have you ever been around two people in a relationship and all they do is complain about each other, to each other? You drink the last of the milk. It's exhausting. But what happens then is that that's the person that they get, because that's the way they see that person. And it's the same thing with our lives. If we are complaining about the negative political ads, if we're complaining about the snow or lack of snow, if we're complaining about anything in our lives, we're going to create that and get that as a demonstration of the power of our word. And sometimes people come and see me and they tell me about all these terrible things going on. I go, great! Look at how powerful you are in an abundant universe, in an infinitely expanding, abundant universe. You are so powerful that you can stop that flow and create lack and limitation. I stand in awe of your power. It's amazing to me. In a universe of love, people can feel totally alone and rejected and neglected and abandoned. That's power. Can you imagine what we can do with that same exact power if we simply shift it? And so that's what this class is about. Shifting the way we see the world, shifting our focus, shifting our energy, getting used to shifting, because shift happens over and over and over again, and we can get good at it. We can have someone come and say, life is terrible, life is just terrible, come play with me. And we can go, oh, life is great. I love my life. Do you want to join me in loving my life? And very often they'll go, no, I'll go find someone else. Life is terrible, life is terrible. And sooner or later they'll find somebody and then they'll get married. And then they'll be beep, 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 So not complaining. And once again, how are you doing with your not complaining? I made it for a week until yesterday morning. Now I'm back. I'm going to count yesterday as day one. I'm back on day 2. So that's me. How's everybody else doing? Day one, day 1.
2.
Day 2. This is, I gave you 30 days, didn't I? I gave you 30 days of not complaining. And it doesn't matter if you complain in the middle of the 30 days. It's really okay. You just start all over again. Go back to day 1. And if you do that long enough, you will stop being a complainer. So day 1, day 2, how else are you doing? Are you feeling better? Yes, yes. Jane?
I was, I went to a thing at UNCA, it was just a free thing, and it was a drama. And it was this family, and they were like torturing each other.
Right.
One of the sons said they thought.
We don't want to hear the story.
Suicide, but the thing of it is that there was somebody else in the class here who was there. Yeah, it was her. And I kept falling asleep during this play, and I felt bad about it. And she came up and she said, gee, this play is, and she said it must have been the tryptophan in the turkey that we had for our for the lunch.
Good, so you fell asleep. You got yourself out of there.
Well,
Good, and you fell asleep.
I fell asleep.
Great.
I just kept nodding off. I couldn't stay conscious. I didn't, and we were remarking how different this community is.
yeah.
It's
it
alive
really
and
is.
awake, and that community is like the night.
Right, well, anybody who's watching a play about people torturing each other wants to stay aware and present for that. Kathy?
I have a question. I don't know if it's complaining or not. That's my problem is, like, if I'm stating a fact.
If it's only a fact, you have no emotional charge. That's how you know if it's complaining. Complaining has judgment. If you simply say this is a tile floor, there's no emotional charge. If I came in expecting carpet and I go, oh my God, this is a tile floor, that's complaining.
But
But I don't like that answer. Look at another one.
my grandson stuck his finger in my eye and scratched my cornea. So now, if I say that, is that complaining or is that just a fact?
If you don't have any heat on it, it's just a fact.
Okay,
If you're mad about it,
no,
it's complaining.
okay.
Does that make sense? Because it's okay it's okay to be observant, but if it's hooked you, if you're involved in it emotionally in a negative way, it's a complaint. And you know that. It comes out as whining. That's why I have no whining signs in my office. It comes out with affect. You're trying to get other people to see how terrible this is, that it happened to you. You are very entrenched in the triangle, which always has a victim, a rescuer, and a perpetrator. Perpetrator, prosecutor, depends on how you look at it. So here you've got, if you're feeling victimized by something, and you're talking about it, and that's usually where we enter the triangle, except the do-gooders of us who butt into everybody's life trying to help and only make a mess of it. We often enter the triangle as a victim, and then we are complaining. And you know you're a victim if someone or something has done you wrong. And often the person that you're complaining to, you're trying to get to rescue you emotionally by agreeing that this terrible thing has happened, like daylight savings time. We can find a lot of things to complain about. Chuck, did you have your hand up?
No.
Okay, so, Terry.
I have a situation that, and I'm not sure if it's complaining either. When I am all by myself and I'm trying to accomplish something, and I get frustrated with it, and I'll say something like, damn, I didn't do that. No, is that complaining?
Damn it is indicative of an emotional And then we've just internalized the triangle to where we are now victim to ourselves. Yes, where we have an internal critic that is criticizing us for being human, as if we're supposed to know how to do plumbing or something, whatever it is that you're trying to do. So be a little more gentle with yourself. Elizabeth.
So, okay, so you catch yourself, let's just say, for example, the tag office tells you your tag will cost you $600.
Right.
And you kind of have a
Welcome to
reaction.
North Carolina.
That's what I said.
We look at cars like houses.
I was looking at your book. And, so, you know, I would have failed the complaint, test. But so one doesn't, you catch yourself saying you don't complain. You know,
Just own it. This is you. Say I.
okay, so I don't complain, Then I feel the emotion.
But you did
Anger.
complain.
Well, I did, but had I not, you just said, if you don't complain, and if you don't ever open your mouth and say it, that's where we can catch it, right? So then the
I said that
emotion-
last week, yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
the emotion is here, because I'm not opening my mouth, I'm feeling it, and I'm trying to slam all the engines in reverse, so I'm not thinking what I'm thinking. And sometimes that old, what is it, the reptilian brain has already launched into, oh my God.
Right.
So I was just wanting to hear what you had to say about.
That's what tonight's class is all about.
Oh, okay.
Where do we go? How do we shift that energy so we're not just suppressing what we're feeling? Because when you go into the tag office, where are you from?
Well, I came from Colorado.
So you go to the tag agency with your Colorado plates, trying to be a good citizen. You just moved here, and they tell you your new North Carolina tag will cost $600 and you go, no, I'm not gonna complain. Barbara said if I don't let it leave my mouth, I'm okay. So I'm gonna clamp my mouth shut and I'm gonna stuff it down as hard as I can. But then you go home and you have a knot in your stomach and the adrenaline's already released from the limbic brain, the fight or flight and all of that stuff. So what do I do with that? So are we done talking about complaining?
Yes.
Great. Because this is what you do. You shift it. You've got something that is not okay. Not okay. Let's make it simple. Complain. We want to move to what? Okay. This is not rocket science. And we want to move from complaining to gratitude. Now this is not the only way to release it. You could have a massage, you could go to therapy, you could do Arthur Yanoff's primal scream and release it. But that's a lot of work. You can immediately move into gratitude. Elizabeth, what are you grateful for right now? You're standing in the tag agency. You've got enough wherewithal to say, I'm not going to complain, but what do I do with all this energy? What are you grateful for?
That I can walk out the door and get a grip.
I'm grateful that right now I'm at a point of choice. I can walk out the door and figure out what to do because I was not planning on the $600. Great. What else might you be grateful for in that moment?
Then I have a lot of options, I have a lot of people I can call,
I've got options here. I can work this out. I can figure this out. Because the, oh, what is a limited viewpoint. That coming up with $600 in that very second, $600 of disposable income that you didn't know you were going to have to come up with is the only opportunity in that moment, and that's why you react. When you can take a breath, remember 4 deep breaths. That's what it takes to get the adrenaline out of your system, to take your blood back from your brain. Remember when you go into fight or flight, when the limbic brain is triggered and you have adrenaline coursing through your body and your body has reacted, one of the fight or flight mechanisms of human survival is that all of the blood goes to your limbs. It's a biophysiological response so that you can fight or you can flight. One or the other will lead to survival of the species. So what happens when you take 4 deep breaths? You can think again. When you go into fight or flight, it's not personal, you just get stupid. You get stupid because there's no blood in your brain. There's no oxygen in your blood in your brain. It's all gone to your limbs so that you can survive the saber-toothed tiger that has just jumped down from the ledge, a la the $600 charge. And when you can breathe, then you start saying, well, wait a minute, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to think this through. I've got options, I've got people, I don't have to do this right now. I've got things that I can do, I'm at choice. All of a sudden, the energy starts to dissipate. And you move into gratitude. Wow, I'm so grateful that I've got some choices here. This doesn't mean that I'm walking home. I've got choices, I've got things I can do. I'm so grateful for that. What else might you be grateful for in that moment? Susan?
Have a car.
I'm so grateful that I have a car, that I'm not walking home. Exactly. What else might you be grateful for?
My Colorado tag doesn't expire till next March.
My Colorado tag still has some time on it.
I could add to that, but I'll just be quiet.
What else might you be grateful for?
It's not $1,200.
That it's not $1,200. What else might you be grateful for?
That you actually have money.
That you have the money. And that either you have the money in your hand, or you have means to get the money, or you are going to bring the new tags into your spiritual mind treatment work every morning and demonstrate whatever you need to demonstrate to have them in your hand. You are at choice. You have options. The entire universe is conspiring for you, not against you. So we move into gratitude. And as we move into gratitude, our heart slows down. We can breathe easier. we start flushing all of those chemicals out of our system so that we feel better. We stop sweating, and we start thinking better. Maybe we go have a Starbucks and chill out and think about the things that we want to do and what we're grateful for, and do a little gratitude sheet, and before you know it, things come into form because we are creating our reality. Things come into form in alignment with our gratitude instead of in alignment with our freak out. Does that make sense? Now, why is this step in treatment so important? Becca.
You can only be grateful for something you already have.
You can only be grateful for something that you already have. So when you move into gratitude in a freak out, you are claiming this other alternative universe, alternative reality, and claiming it as having it. And sometimes you just have to practice, what can I be grateful for? What can I be grateful for? I am so grateful for Hall's cherry cough drops. Those of you who know me know that I have been addicted to Hall's cherry cough drops for over 30 years. I have trouble teaching or speaking on Sunday without a little cough drop in my mouth, because I have this belief that if I don't have one in my mouth is going to dry out, and I'm going to have trouble keeping my mouth, my tongue, and my lips will have trouble keeping up with my brain. And then I'll overthink my ability to speak. So I am so grateful, and they're tasty, they're cherry. What could be better than that? So they're just timed perfectly. They're about 45 minutes a cough drop. You know, this is just great. Whatever you've got, if you have to sit in your car and cry and be grateful for tissues, be grateful for tears and how they wash your eyeballs, and they're just so wonderful. You know, whatever it is that you're being grateful for, pick something to be grateful for. You will change your physical body, you will change the consciousness, the energy, you will change your thought process, and you will change your life with gratitude. But it seems to be one of the last tools that people pick up. You're grateful for what you've got. And so if you've got to be grateful for your pen, you know, you could be having a piece of granite and a chisel and a hammer here trying to take notes. This is a ballpoint pen. This is fantastic. Everybody could have a container of ink and a feather that they're trying to take notes with. This is miraculous. We live in an amazing world, and how people can look at their lives and find fault all day and complain all day is just amazing. You gotta work at it. Do you know that you have over 60,000 thoughts a day?
No.
60,000 thoughts a day. And do you know that studies show that most people, I'm not saying you, but most people think 98% of those 60,000 thoughts the exact thought that they thought the day before. So that's why their lives don't change, because they keep thinking the same thought over and over. So if that's a given, and if we've got a tendency to repeat our thoughts, let's have really great thoughts. And then go ahead and repeat them. But to do that, we have to train ourselves how to have great thoughts 60,000 times a day, and then repeat those great thoughts. And it starts when you awaken in the morning or awaken in the middle of the night. Rocking Bear used to call it the shaman's hour. I understand it goes from midnight to 5. If you're awake at any time during that, welcome to the world of the shaman. Consciously think about your thoughts and choose the thoughts that you want to think. And I know that sometimes people aren't good at this, which is why we write down affirmations and you say them over and over and over and over and over and over again. Remember, I would have you get a clicker from Dick's and have you do the affirmation 1,000 times a day. People would go, 1,000 times a day, you're such a hard teacher. Well, you've got 60,000 thoughts. That's only 1 out of 60 that you're doing. It's not that much. So you do that, or people would do chanting, or people would journal, whatever, to focus your energy on how you want your life to be. If you're up in the middle of the night, use it. Use it. People say, oh, I couldn't sleep. Great. The shaman's hour. What'd you do with it? I complained. Well, you just wasted that time. So chances are you'll be up again to give you another chance, because life just keeps showing up, giving us chances and chances and chances until we get it. Does that make sense? I want to do a practice with you. Whatever's on you that you like. If it's a pen, if it's a cup of tea, if it's a bottle of water, if it's a piece of clothing, whatever it is, I want everyone to find something. How about glasses? Aren't they great? Not only are they hair accessories, but they make things bigger. So whatever it is, glasses, cup of tea, cup of water, pen, paper, apple, shirt, shoes, everybody pick something and pick it right now. What? You really wanted me to do that? Yes. Has everybody got something?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Find a partner. I want an A and a B. Easy exercise. All of the A's, you have 60 seconds to tell B's how grateful you are for whatever this thing is that you picked. Go. Okay, B's your turn. Tell A's what you are grateful for about whatever you picked. Go. came up for you?
Joy.
Joy. Happiness. Fun. Excitement. Appreciation.
Warmth and relaxation.
Warmth and relaxation.
Communion,
Engagement,
engagement.
You're connected, yeah. Connected in your gratitude and your happiness and your joy. Was it hard? Gratitude is easy. Adrian.
And I'm gonna say this, but when you're in that moment of, it's not, it's a challenge too. It's not as, well, I'm trying to say it's positive.
You just are not practiced, that's all. You just need to practice more. It's like going to the gym and picking up a weight that's heavier than you've ever picked up before. You're just not ready, or I'm sorry, you are ready, you're not practiced, you're not experienced yet. And that's what this class is about, it's teaching you how to shift. So whenever you pick up the gratitude, doesn't matter. It could be 10 years later, think about your exes. You know, oh, well, I forgave them, great, are you grateful for them? No. So whenever you can pick that up, Adrian, go back and find something to be grateful for. Find something to be grateful for. That's one of the problems, I think, in traditional therapy is they keep you stuck in the problem.
Right.
They keep you stuck in the position of being a victim. Not to say that that didn't happen to you, okay, it happened, but now what? You're gonna stay there forever? Just because you have a really good story and you paid a lot of money for it? Move into gratitude. Move into gratitude, be grateful. And because there is no time, then that energy that is locked up and often locked up in your body somewhere, all of you body workers, you know about that, that dissipates it and releases it and lets you open up to the true feelings of being alive, which are love and joy and excitement and happiness. Is that good? Great. Who had their hand up? Elizabeth.
Because I managed to overthink part of it, like without, and I was telling her, part of me went to the critic, like this monitor in my head going, oh, you're bragging, oh, you're showing off, oh, you're something like that. It was like really great
Brag.
to see it. Huh?
May you always brag. I posted on Facebook Saturday, come to the center because I'm gonna be fantastic.
And then you were.
So be aware that there is an internalized critic in you that does not want you to feel good about yourself. And not feeling good about yourself is projected into the manifestations of your life that you then don't feel good about your life, about the people in your life, the stuff you have, all of that shows up because you don't feel good about you. That second step, it will heal you of that. If you can get that the sunrise is in you, that the stars are in you, that all of that is in you, it blows out all of that neurotic dysfunction. It does. There's just no way that those two realities can be together. Adrian.
I don't know, I think it was last week that you said this, it might have been the week before, but you said, I hold the power of creation within me. And I have been like when I was this morning I said something at work and I said, no, I hold the power of creation within me, and I just could feel everything just, So I don't know if I don't know when you said it, but you may not have.
Thank you.
That helps, yeah, thanks, so you're welcome.
Yes, yes, good. And as we shift on the inside, we shift on the outside. And one thing that I didn't notice until we were in the middle of it was, Kathy, you were not doing it, so Darcy came in, so will you guys do that? You don't have to do it right now, but maybe during the break?
Yeah.
Good. When we shift the way we see the world, which includes a shift of feeling, if you're simply saying, oh, there's more than enough, and you are sweating bullets and just terrified, it hasn't gotten in. So what you want to do is you want to learn to generate a feeling. And gratitude is a great way to generate a feeling. And you may be scared to death that you're in bankruptcy and they're going to foreclose on you and all this yada, yada, yada. Pick up a pen and marvel at the fact that we get to live in a world with pens. And what you'll do is you'll create a feeling. Pick up, I'm a sucker for food, so pick up something that tastes good and just enjoy that.
Mommy got donuts.
Not your donuts, hey, Mommy. I tell you, John and I were in Thailand for a week and a half, and we were at an outdoor market, and we found Thailand donuts, and we were excited. First of all, they weren't wheat, and I was very missing wheat in my diet. There were little balls of wheat that were deep fried and rolled in sugar. It's like, yes, we have donuts, and as everything that has to do with to-go food in Thailand, they give it to you in a bag. They give you soup in a bag with a straw. They give you rice in a bag with chopsticks. They don't have room for styrofoam or cardboard. They barely have room for the bags with that many millions of people. So we got donuts. So God is into donuts. Find something that will generate a feeling inside of you. Because as Barbara Waterhouse said, to control your state is to control your fate. Write that down. And when we learn how to control our emotions, we learn how to shift our energy. So that all of a sudden the $600 is not that big of a deal. We'll work it out, we'll do something. We'll find a way. It'll happen. When we allow ourselves to stay stuck in our fear, then our lives stay stuck. So what we want to do is practice this idea of gratitude. And how many of you are Abraham students?
Who's that?
So, what does Abraham say about a rampage of appreciation? And I don't want to hear the splitting of hairs about appreciation and gratitude. It's all the same thing. A rampage of appreciation, you just pick something and you go off on it. You did a little bit with what you picked, but pick something, doesn't have to be right here. It can be
Anything you adore.
ice cream. I love ice cream when it's soft, like it is on the counter. Breyer's ice cream. I also like ice cream that's been mixed, like Dairy Queen blizzards or milkshakes or things like that. And you know, there's just nothing like homemade ice cream. Ice cream on a hot summer day, it's so cool and yummy and creamy, and I love ice cream. I love everything about ice cream. The fact that somebody thought about ice cream at some point, I think is so fantastic. And then the cherries that are picked, or the chocolate, or the peanut butter, or whatever comes together in ice cream. It is amazing. Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Whatever it is that you love. Good, a dark cocoa chocolate, or a really good cup of coffee, or hot tea by the fire, or your lover's eyes, or whatever it is that you like. Go off on it. Just go off on it. And don't hold yourself back. There were people I said, stop. They were not going to stop. They were not going to stop at all. They were in the groove. They were going for it. Get in the groove. Practice that. If you drive to work and you're in traffic or you're at a light or something and things are going on, go into this idea of gratitude and generate feelings inside of you. And what happens is that you are harnessing the power of creation to manifest your world. Do you want a life that you awaken to in the morning and you're so grateful? Well, you have to be grateful before you awaken to your life. You have to be. Everybody's got it wrong. They're going to be grateful when they're happy. No, no, no. You're going to be happy when you're grateful. You're going to be happy when you're grateful. And to learn how to change the complaining into gratitude is a very big spiritual lesson. Very, very big. So whatever it is that's happening, if you notice yourself complaining, and that's why we went on the no complaining thing, if you notice yourself complaining, then don't just shove it down. Don't just stop it. Turn it into something else. Turn it into something that lifts you, that excites you, that opens up your life, that brings you money. I was talking to somebody in the class and they were talking about something at work and I said, well, take the high road because that's where your money is. Your money is on the high road. Your health is on the high road. Your joy is on the high road. Your love is on the high road. And if you sink down into the abyss with so many other people in the world thinking the same 60,000 thoughts that you thought yesterday, and yesterday was a lousy day, then you're not going to get what is rightfully yours. People have this warped belief that life is a struggle, that there's something wrong with them, and they're supposed to be punished. Thank you, traditional religion. But still, it's permeated into the race consciousness of people to where they have a belief that struggle is normal. No pain, no gain. No. No, we can have gain all we want. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to struggle through life. How do I say this? The only battle worth fighting is the one with your own thoughts. That's the only one worth fighting. To be able to look at your thinking and say, I am bigger than you. You do not control me, I control you. You are simply a thought. You are simply a series of neurotransmitters hopping along synapses in my brain, and you came out as a thought. So what? I can create different synaptic transmissions. I can think a new thought. And it doesn't matter if it's 10 years down the road. You go back and say, no, I'm going to rethink that. That wasn't terrible. That was great. That let me learn lessons in life to where I am today. That wasn't terrible. That was great. I can actually be grateful for my childhood, for my parents, for early childhood education, for potty training, for puberty, for first loves, for rejection, for broken hearts, for any of that. I can be grateful for it because it allowed me to learn and grow and experience life where I am today. I can be grateful for it. If you move into this idea of being a victim, you're never going to get out of the triangle. There are no victims, only volunteers. No victims, only volunteers, and you volunteered. Amy.
I had a shift this morning, I was doing treatment, and I was in identification, and it's more visual, and I was thinking of clarity, and I just jumped right to gratitude. I've been wrestling with family issues, and my mom and dad, and the circle that goes around and around. And when I thought of gratitude, I went back to identification and thought, well, I'm glad they did what they did, so I'm here. So I pulled out identification and had the experience here. And it just seemed like it was just such a quick shift, and then I was like, that was really easy.
Yes, yes. It's easier to be grateful than it is to complain and feel bad. It takes a lot of effort to feel bad. You have to keep bringing it up because it goes against the natural evolution and flow of life. If love is all there is, if prosperity and health and wholeness is the truth of us, then to resist that takes a lot of energy. And so, pardon me?
How does it come so easily?
Well, it doesn't come easily. You just used to it. When you think that way, life is hard. Right?
Well, yeah,
But,
I'm looking for the good, happy goals.
good.
But that seems like way hard.
That's just because you're not used to it. You haven't practiced enough. But living the result of limiting thoughts is really hard. Being poor is really hard. Being sick is really hard. Being miserable is really hard. That's what's hard. It's not hard to change your thought. That's the easy part. You're just not good at it yet. You've got to practice it. And you practice it by shifting. You practice it by shifting. That's why I want you to do treatment every day. I want you to have affirmations that you do every day. I have more than enough. My house is finished, my construction business is thriving, I have all these employees, I've got all these different bank accounts, I have consultants I have to go see. And do that over and over and over again, and I say to do it 1,000 times a day, because you have 59,000 other thoughts going on. So all you need to do is practice. You do it once, well, you have 59,999 other thoughts. But I did that one thought, but you have all those other thoughts. You gotta practice it. You gotta practice catching yourself, practice being mindful. That's what I like meditation for. It gives you, it allows you to develop the sense of an observer so that you are not in your body, you're around your body, watching yourself, and you can listen to what you say, even when you're in the midst of it and you're talking. There's part of you that's listening to what you say, so that when it hears you going down the tubes, it can stop and say, wait a minute, Michael, do you really want to go there? Maybe this would be a good opportunity for you to shift. Maybe you could excuse yourself, walk out, take 4 deep breaths so that you're not stupid, so you get your blood back into your brain and begin to think of other ways to set your life up so that as you walk into it, it's a better fit.
No, I was just connected to suppressing these thoughts.
That's what I was talking to Elizabeth about. If you just say, don't you complain, and that's it. You don't do anything with the energy. If you go to gratitude, then you're moving that energy again. Suppression is a stopping. It's congestion, it's constipation. And what we want to do is we want to move the energy, but we want to move the energy at a higher level, more in alignment with the way we want our lives to be. So you move into gratitude. And even if you just pick up that pencil and go, isn't this amazing? Look, I have a hat. Oh my gosh, fiber, textiles. Isn't this fascinating that they went from a cotton plant to my sweatshirt? Life is amazing. You've changed your future. You've changed your future.
Is that not just diverting attention?
Well, yeah, it's diverting attention. You want to divert attention. It's like driving down the freeway. If you don't want to go west, you're going to have to turn around and go east. Well, isn't that just diverting direction? Yes, exactly. It's taking you where you want to go. Don't give so much credence to your feelings and your thoughts. They're not that important if they're not what you want. Just think about something different.
Well, I think that's why I'm so pissed off, because I've been thinking about something different for years, and it just
Well, you haven't thought it enough. If all you do all day is think one thought over and over and over again, and it's a thought that's positive and uplifting and healthy, it will be a day well spent.
and then other stuff just disappears.
If you do it long enough and clear enough, it will disappear. Has anybody had this experience? Look around the room. We're practicing this, Mike. We gotta practice it so that we go from fear, which is all the anger is, we go from fear to faith, to trust, to knowing that everything is fine, that I command the power of creation, that somehow I'm connected with everything, and that there is that within me that lifts me up right now. And when we move into that, everything on the outside changes. But it's a practice, especially if you've had decades of thinking a certain way. There's a thing came out in What the Bleep, which had its 10-year birthday last week. But I used to say that the thought process actually burned a path in the brain, and that's what all that squiggly stuff is. Babies' brains are smooth. Adults' brains are all squiggly, and that's because the neurotransmitters have actually, because everything has a charge, burned a path through the brain, so it's easier to think that old thought of anger and upset than it is to think the new thought that Barbara says, that everything is fine. Well, how can everything be fine when it's so easy for me to think this old thought? But the new science, whatever it's called, actually has shown that the the squiggly tendrils on the neurotransmitters actually grow together when there's a synaptic firing. And that if you think the same thought over and over and over again, parts of your brain are grown into that thought. And that the frustration that you're feeling of breaking that thought is literally taking tissue and separating it. And so you break that thought and you give it a new thought, and then it'll grow that new thought, and then the new thought gets very easy to think. So that we're thinking the 60,000 thoughts that we want to think, and it's okay to think 98% of those again because they're all about how great life is. But what you're experiencing is very normal, and the only thing I know to do is to practice. Practice shifting, practice shifting, practice shifting. Think a new thought. This is called new thought. Think a new thought. You have to get a hold of your thinking process. And not only get a hold of your thinking process, but get a hold of your emotional state. To take yourself out of anger. Look at how polished we're becoming. That I'm looking at you saying, you need to learn how to stop anger on a dime and just shift it to joy. Well, my God, if we could do that for some of the leaders of some countries, we wouldn't be blowing each other up. So I understand that I'm asking a lot, but it's critical to your well-being. You've got to learn to stop being angry and start being happy. You just have to. You got to find it within yourself. And one way that I know to do it is to find something to be happy about and obsess on it, even if you sound ridiculous. Ice cream. Thank you. So all this is a little cheat sheet for treatment, a little sample phrase for the steps, and it also includes a little sample of what you might say if you're treating for someone else. Because we did about a month ago start you off on doing treatment work for other people. Okay. Wes, is the camera on?
Yes.
So questions came up during the break. Someone stole things from me. A grocery cart hit my car, and now I have to have repair work. What's up with that? Well, it's always that the outer is a reflection of the inner, period, end of story. Whether it's a physical diagnosis, whether it's all of a sudden you've got a repair bill, whether it's losing something, and remember, no matter what, that which is yours cannot be taken from you. And that which is not yours, you cannot keep. Period, end of story. One of the old-timey Signs of Mind ministers used to say, you do not sacrifice principle even on special occasions. And special occasions tend to be, well, but this happened to me, so this is a special occasion. All of the creative laws of the universe are on hold because I really am a victim. And no, we're not a victim. If we are sending out vibrations, and I'm going to do this just a little dualistically for the sake of teaching. If we are sending out not okay vibes, whatever that is, that these dirty, rotten, rack-and-fraction politicians, that's a vibe. And that will have an impact on your life. That will have an impact on your relationships, on your physical health, on your money, and on your car. It's going to have an impact on your stuff because that's the vibe that's going out. Whether it's about politicians, whether it's about the environment, whether it's about the food that you bought, that you opened up and it wasn't quite what you thought it was going to be, whatever it is. That's a vibe that's going out. And when you have that kind of a vibe go out, it's going to like look around for things that it can be, peeps with. Like lone grocery carts flying through a parking lot. Like someone who's supposed to be helping except they're really a thief. Whatever. It's going to look for something of like energy. And then it's going to grab that and it's going to bring it back into your life. And it may not look anything at all like the thought that you thought. You may simply have been thinking what a dirty, rotten, rack and frat your ex is. You just found them on Facebook, and oh my gosh, how dare they be happy? And so you put that vibe out, and then you get something completely different but it's because of that vibe. That's why it's so important for us to learn what to put out so that as that energy is going through the universe looking for something that it can connect with, hey, how you doing? I'm happy and joyous. I'm happy and joyous too. It's going to connect and come back in your life. And it may have to do with the disease that you never got. It may have to do with the car that magically appears on the lot that's just for you tomorrow. It may have to do with money that shows up in your bank account, and all of these wonderful things may not look anything like the original thought that you sent out. But it's the vibration that connects and brings back into your experience. Jackie.
Is it David Hawkins' Power versus Force? That's exactly what he talks about in the book.
What a wise man he is.
And I used to share that with my kids in school. What goes around comes around, and I would do the chart on the board for them. And you know, they don't teach that in school, but I did.
Good.
And they loved it.
Of course.
They really got it.
And what we want to do is we want to know exactly what thought we thought that created that. And it's just not that simple. It's about vibration. It's about energy. It's about infinite possibilities and probabilities that are ready to coalesce into form in our lives. And so something happens and people go, well, why did that happen to me? Well, it was not random. There is no randomness to this law. There is cause and there is effect. And if we're having effects that we don't like, it would serve us to begin to take control of the causes that we put out. We cannot expect to fight with our spouse and not have it affect our physical body, our jobs, our money, the grass in our yard, our pets, whatever. It just doesn't work that way. We are a whole. So whatever it is we're putting out is going to come back to us. And if something has come back to us, great. We can notice that at some point we gave in to the race consciousness of fear, which translates as anger and upset and then aggression. And when we are putting someone down, it's an aggressive act. And that showed up in our lives somehow. Not to make ourselves wrong, but to simply notice I need to put more energy into maintaining a state around me of safety, of support, of love, and of joy, so that anything that comes into my energy field close to me has to be in alignment with that, or it just bounces off. What did we do to open up the door to that experience? Whether it was a positive experience or not so positive experience, we let it in. Something came knocking, and we went and opened up the front door and said, come on in. Because if we didn't, then none of this is true. If there can be a random experience that we were not involved in, that we were not creating, whether conscious or not, doesn't matter, then none of this is true. And granted, there are levels of process and, well, this thing put me in a position for this to happen, great. I'm not talking about judgment here. I'm saying that if you look at your life and you find things that you're not thrilled about, it means that the work needs to be done on the inside. And I would know, Kathy, that I was safe with my grandson. This is not the first time this has happened. No. So I would include in my treatments that I'm safe. Because little boys, he's a little boy, he's all wild and probably has fingernails and all that stuff. Little babies, they put the socks on their hands, you know, to protect the adults around them. So I would put myself in a sock of consciousness that said that I'm safe. I used to do this thing in the morning that only that which is for my highest and best can come into my experience this day. And only that which is my highest and best, I leave with everything that I've done and touched. And I did that every day. so that I would have this sense that if it showed up in my life, it had to be for my highest and best, because only that which is for my highest and best shows up in my life. That's all that can come into my experience. And that somehow I leave part of me behind that is the best of me. Nothing happens by accident. There is no randomness in the universe. If there is, then we don't have say over anything. And like the Peggy Lee song, if that's all there is, then let's get dancing, let's bring out the booze and have a ball. So if we can control reality in any way, if we can lower our blood pressure through meditation, then we can change every cell in our body. If we can manifest unexpected income in the prosperity class, then we can create any amount of money that we want. If we can have an experience of love and connectedness and joy with 60 seconds of gratitude, then all of our relationships can be amazing. And if we can change how we present ourselves to our life and how life presents itself to us, we can have our lives go anywhere we want it to go and do anything we want to do. Go anywhere we want to go. We can close the deals and build the business and do whatever it is we want to do. We can do that. But if we fall into this, well, this is special. This hurt my feelings. Oh, come on, they're only feelings. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. I don't know why I'm moving into songs about it. But they're only feelings. Now, self-help books and therapists have made fortunes on feelings. But really, they're only feelings. And you are in charge of your feelings. So you might as well feel something that lifts you up instead of something that takes you down, and you know the difference. You know the difference, and you really can shift how you're feeling. You can take a breath. You can take a break. You can go look at it a different way. You can come up with, remember what we did a few classes ago? We came up with stories about fantastic things that came from this. We started off by looking at something in the past where at the time it looked awful. Pick a divorce. Or getting fired, or going bankrupt, or going out of business, or whatever. You pick that, and then you can look at it and go, well, look at how great that turned out. I'm so happy I'm not in that marriage, job, life, city anymore. I'm so happy that that happened. Well, now take your feeling, your situation that you're feeling stuck in now, and project yourself into the future and look back and just make up a story about how great everything turned out. And you shift your feeling. You shift it because you're the one who decides what you think and how you feel. Even if someone taught you what to think and how to feel, you bought it and you're continuing the process. Well, it's a great family tradition of suffering in my family. Well, stop it. Somebody's got to stop it. Stop the abuse. So when you say this is special, I'm special, you're not special. You're a part of an infinite whole, the same as trillions and gazillions other forms of points of life, of spirit. You're not special. You're pretty awesome, but you're not special. The laws of the universe do not stop because something happened to you. You're still creating. Does that make sense? Good, 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 good. So we're moving into gratitude. What I would like to encourage you to do is to make a practice of gratitude for the month of November, because it's Thanksgiving month and it's just a nice time for us to do that. And one of the things that I snagged during The Secret was this wonderful, I think it was from Bob Proctor, or else it was from Jack Canfield.
Was it The Secret or what could be?
No, this was The Secret. I'm so happy and grateful now that. I think it's Bob Proctor's take on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I'm giving you one, but this is just an exercise sheet. You can do this every day. I don't want you to write just one thing down and then save all the rest of the lines for the rest of the month. That's not what this is about. This is today's page. Tomorrow you gotta make your own. You can write it all out. I'm so happy and grateful now that. Pick some things to be happy and grateful about. Throw them out in the room. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have heat in my house. What else? I'm so happy and grateful now that I have health, that I'm healthy.
I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a stylish, dependable, powerful car.
Woo-hoo, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have such a stylish, dependable, what? Powerful car.
I'm so happy and grateful because my car still runs, even though the junkie car.
Yes, we leave the even though out. I'm so happy and grateful now that my car runs. You have a great car, Jane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was a great
It is a great car. But, you know, if you want to move into the world where your car is not great anymore, I cannot stop you. I can caution you. But I cannot stop you. I can't make you all be happy and rich and healthy and young and good looking and feeling great. I can't make you do that. I wish I could. Sometimes I just want to grab people and shake them. Say like a Cher, only it's a little violent with Nicolas Cage and Moonstruck. Snap out of it. Snap out of it. And the way you snap out of it is you look at it differently. You think a new thought. You feel a new feeling. And this is just so basic. Gratitude is so basic and so effective. Do you have your hand up? You want to say something? Okay.
You know the rest of
Lift your elbow off the table. Thank you, thank you.
You know the rest of what Bob Proctor says she gets?
No, what?
I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities
Right.
from unlimited sources on a continuous basis.
Right. So I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing amounts,
Increasing quantities.
in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. Yes. Isn't that a great phrase?
Yes.
Money just keeps on coming, keeps on growing from everywhere. Yay! Let's be happy and grateful. So what I want you to do is I want you to do one of these every day. Now, if you don't do one every day, please don't not come to class. This is just my recommendation, but again, I can't make you happy, but if you do this every day, your happiness is going to jump. You're going to be happier because all of a sudden you're happy and grateful. You're going to feel better. Post it on Facebook. I'm so happy and grateful now that. This is my gratitude of the day. I'm so happy and grateful now that. Now that it's snowing, now that it's not snowing, now that it's cloudy, now that it's sunny, now that so-and-so came to visit, now that so-and-so left. It's not about what you're happy and grateful about, it's that you are happy and grateful. So because it's late, I want to take a few minutes and I want you to do this here and now. Sandy's already started. Not that I don't trust you to do it when you get home, but it's late. And so we're going to spend a few minutes and have you actually start to fill this out.
It's okay if you repeated some during the week and different days?
It's not about what you are happy and grateful about. It's about the fact that you are happy and grateful and that you are teaching yourself to be happy and grateful. That's the shift. If you've got happiness and gratitude in your pocket to pull out at any moment, that is a powerful tool. That is like a Jedi lightsaber. It's amazing. Fill this out a little bit. So wherever you are in your thought, go ahead and bring it to a close on your paper. How do you feel? Feel better, feel good?
Happy?
Happy, wonderful. I want you to pick a partner, and I want you to read your list for that partner. Oh, Zach. So, how do you feel now? Great, fantastic, energized. I can't even get you to stop talking about it. What's the difference between when you wrote it down inside of yourself and when you told somebody else about it? What's the difference?
I got excited.
I got excited. What?
Amplification.
Amplification. Don't, what?
Verification.
Verification. Somebody listened to you. How was that? They say that's really the biggest need or desire that most people in the world have is someone just to listen to them. Yeah.
Would you call that
Darcy.
identification as well? Because that's what I felt, identification. I could really identify with her.
Great, you felt connected.
Absolutely.
Yes, 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 yes. Sandy.
It reiterated things and brought things up that I already knew.
Reading it out loud?
Writing it and reading it out loud.
Because there was a definite difference in this room. But I said, how do you feel? Okay, find somebody and read it to you. We want, if you want to create something, create it like this. I'm creating a rich and abundant, fantastic life. Tell people that you're happy. Stop at Whole Foods. See Chalkley at Whole Foods and tell him and everybody else who works there how happy and grateful you are. I am so happy and grateful that you have this bread. This is fantastic bread. Thank you for having this bread.
That's right.
Or you, I didn't get my parking space at Whole Foods. What world do you want to live in? I want to live in the fantastic world. I want to live in the world of awe and wonder that we can drive a vehicle, go to a store, and they made us bread. You know what a big deal that is? Somebody had to grow it. Somebody had to grind it. Somebody had to mix it. Somebody had to bake it. Somebody had to put it in a little plastic bag, felt like Thailand, and somebody had to sell it to us. Yay! Isn't that amazing? It's amazing the world that we live in. Be in your amazement, generate it, share it, and watch this energy that just comes up, and all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you're excited for your day. You're enthusiastic. You got all this energy. You're happy. People say, what happened to you? What drug are you on? I want some. I'm on the happiness drug. Because you shared it. Doesn't matter if people think you're crazy. They already do. So are you vegan? What? That's all right, I'll cook lamb. That was from my big Greek wedding, big fat Greek wedding. He said he's a vegetarian. She said, that's all right, I'll make lamb. So what you want to do is you want to get this going, and then you want to build it. And what we can do is we can take a little energy from everybody around us. And it's not like being a vampire when they say they sucked me dry. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sharing excitement, sharing enthusiasm, sharing what you're happy about. And before you know it, you have so much energy you don't know what to do. So then direct it. Set your intention. Create your life. Let that energy be that wave that picks you up and takes you where you want to go, and it will be a wild ride, I guarantee you. The difference between just and this is your choice. We're going to shift from the negative to the positive, and then we're going to shift from the little to the big. It's a wonderful journey. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Breezy.
I have a question in regards to, we were talking about the stuff you drive. There's not just a limited amount of energy, basically you're multiplying it as you're sharing it, right?
Right. People can only suck you dry if you're closed. You know, if somebody wants my energy, I just smile and give it to them. They can't take anything from me. It's like the The white guy that went to the native ceremony, and he had an eagle feather in his hat. And a young native man came up to him and said, "How dare you carry that eagle feather? You have no right to have that eagle feather. I'm going to take it from you." And the white guy said, "You can't take it from me. I give it to you." True story. Somebody wants your energy, give it to them. That must mean you have a lot more to come in. Love them. Somebody wants you to love them, love them. Somebody wants something from you, give it to them generously, and then watch more show up in your life. Barbara.
I just find if I blurt out appreciation for where I am, I went to the UPS first to find out what are their services and how is it different from the post office. And the girl was great, and so I just said that. I said, "You really know all about it. I learned so much from you, and I'll come back here." And it was like, I felt good, she felt good. I mean, I didn't plan that, but I find I'm doing that more wherever I am.
Good, and you feel better.
Yes, I
And
do.
your body is healthier, you have more energy, you have more money, your relationships are better, life is working for you.
True, you're right
Yes.
on all counts.
Yes, yes, because you are an unlimited being in an unlimited universe. And when we pretend that there's a limited amount, we close down. And when we close down, we are living in a limited world where stuff can be taken from us. That's the only way that happens. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments before we close? Patty?
I have a question. If, for instance, if you're feeling unappreciated for something you're doing, do you be grateful for being appreciated?
Who cares if people appreciate you?
You do.
Well, then you're out of reference.
Okay, so what do
Who
you do?
cares? I appreciate me. I'm constantly telling myself what a good job I'm doing. I am. I'll do the dishes and go, "Wow, you did a great job. Look at that kitchen. Wow, you did a great job." I'm gonna go home after class and go, "Psst. I am hot stuff, baby." People all around the world watch this class. We are changing countries as well as lives. I am hot stuff, and I tell myself that. And then before you know it, other people are going, "Wow, Barbara, you're hot stuff." I know. So if people are not appreciating you, maybe you're not appreciating yourself enough. And if that's not the case, then let them not appreciate you. Who cares? Appreciate the heck out of yourself. Take yourself out shopping. Buy yourself a gift.
Buy yourself a new car.
Well, you can buy Elaine a new car. Elaine can buy me a new car. I bring this up because she is going to buy a new car tomorrow. Isn't that fantastic? Don't we live in a great universe? Who else? Questions, comments before we close?
Barbara, you had mentioned.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Celebration dinner.
Every year we have this wonderful dinner. We take the sanctuary and we turn it into this banquet hall. It's great. How many people have been to the Celebration Commitment Dinner? It's wonderful. There's tablecloths and candles and flowers and all of that. Wonderful food. And we invite everyone, whether they are members or not members, to the dinner to thank them for the fantastic year we've had in 2014 and to offer everyone an opportunity to make a financial commitment to the center for 2015. We then take all of those financial commitments and we make our budget for 2015 from that, and we present that at the annual membership meeting. This is the party part, not the business part. So this is the party part, and if you want to come to the dinner on Friday, November 14th, then I have these handy-dandy RSVP cards that you can fill out. We have vegetarian entrees. I'm just going to pass these down. Vegetarian entrees. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm talking with Vincenzo's about catering.
Oh my God.
Dwight Butner, who owns Vincenzo's, is a member. And if not, John's going to make his world-famous lasagna that he has not made in years here. So it's going to be a wonderful dinner. We really celebrate all that we've done this year. We are amazing. We are on 6 acres. We have 12 kids in our school. We have a wonderful facility, fantastic people. We've got great celebrations. We've got a wonderful music program. We've got video that goes out all around the world. You know, we really, if you haven't been to other centers, this one is particularly good.
We have a labyrinth.
We have a labyrinth in the upper parking lot, yes.
What time is it at?
Vivian, it's at 6:30, and you can just put down that you're coming. And then I also have an opportunity, if anyone wants to help decorate. If you love that, we're going to start next week decorating, and you can see me, or you could raise your hand right now if you like to decorate. Breezy's gonna help. Haley, is your mom gonna bring you?
I don't know.
Adrian and Haley are gonna help. Kristen's gonna help. Margaret's gonna help. Becca and Sandy are gonna help. Wonderful. John's gonna be in town, so if you miss him, being here next week will really let you have a lot of hours with him. So,
The dinner itself is at 6, correct?
the dinner is at 6:30.
6:30.
And this is a dress up kind of thing.
Some people dress up. John always wears a tux.
Science
And I bought a new dress in California. But people come in jeans, people come in slacks, you know, not that many people have jackets on. So, I meant like a coat jacket. So however you show up, I think a year or two ago, somebody had that t-shirt that had the tuxedo on the t-shirt, you know, that kind of thing. And then there's a party for the kids up in the kids' space, so, or they can stay with you. Some people like to have their kids close, but however you want to do it. This is a wonderful time of year for us to do two things, to say thank you, thank you, thank you, we've had a great year. The first part of the year was a little iffy, but we've really come around and we're doing very well and having a great year. And it also allows us to figure out what we're doing in 2015. This is a business. This is a $350,000 to $400,000 a year business, and we have a property valued at $1.7 million. You know, and all of that you have to take care of. You have to manage it. We've got to do stuff to have this level of facility. So whenever you come to the dinner, and whatever you choose to make as your financial commitment is your business. We don't ever say, that was not enough, or you should give more, or anything like that. We always say thank you. Whatever it is, we add it all together and figure out what we're doing next year. So I wanted to garner support for setup and give you an opportunity to fill out RSVP cards, because those little RSVP cards seem to just disappear. You know, you take them and you mean to fill them out, and then they're gone. So here's an opportunity to have it right in front of you while you got your pens out. So that's it. Any questions, comments before we close? You are by far the best class ever, and I really feel like stuff is happening in this class. The prosperity class is cool, we walk on fire, we create money, but this one is all about transforming consciousness. And for me, that's a much bigger game, so thank you for being willing to play. Take out what you're going to give. We offer the class on a love offering, and I do appreciate all the love, but I appreciate all the other stuff that you put in the basket too. And so I breathe it in and make that shift into clarity, absolute clarity, that we live in an abundant universe, that we are supported by all of life, that everything that we could desire, we already have. Right here and right now, I know that we accept all of these riches. We have more than enough money to do whatever it is we want to do. All of our bills are paid in full. Right here and right now, I know for each and every one of us that we live the life of our dreams with health and happiness and wholeness. That the doors are open, our way is made clear, and we step forward knowing the amazing being that we are, surrounded by other amazing beings. I know that each one of us comes together to make this center for spiritual living all that it was ever meant to be. It is a place of peace, a beacon of light, a tower of strength, and a fountain of wisdom that touches the lives of all who call it home. And so it is. Feel it. Feel it. It's finding you. Money, opportunity, time, support, love, joy. It is finding you. It is traveling through the universe, connected to you on a beam of light, finding you, showing up in your world in wonderful, exciting, surprising at times ways. So just feel it, let it in. What I know is that everything in these baskets is blessed, that we are blessed, our lives are blessed, we live in a blessed universe. It blesses us right here and right now, always has, always will, and so it is.